Don't be afraid to pay for courses. So, over the past 3 to 5 years, I've actually paid for people's courses or for one-on-one calls with people off of YouTube. So, I'll be watching YouTube and I'll stumble upon a content creator that talks about something extremely relevant, and I'll identify, oh, this is a person who has something to teach me, and they're charging, let's say, $150 for a 1 hour consultation. If I think that there's nowhere else that information that I can get that information than this guy, I'll gladly pay the $150 for an hour of his time. It can save me, because here's the thing. I did that last week with a content creator. I'm not gonna say his name, but he works in the field that I'm trying to break into, and I'm kind of halfway there. But uh, to really get to the top, you need to really play the game. So I spoke to this content creator, and he'd been working in the field for 20 years. And the price for getting in touch with him wasn't cheap. It was like $300 for a 1 hour consultation that included like a CV review, like a resume review, and other advice as well, like answers to any questions I may have. That $300 may have just changed the trajectory of my career, because what the guy told me was what it's really like working in the industry. And I was trying to go for a very specific role, and I was very hell-bent on getting that title, even at the cost of getting a pay cut. And he said, no, don't be stupid. That title means nothing anymore. Like, anyone working in this firm kind of does pretty much the same thing, even though their titles are different. So don't try to do like a title thing, like just for the prestige of having that title. Just don't take a pay cut, is what I'm saying. It's not worth it. I was totally gonna do what he said not to do, and this guy's got 20 years in the industry, so he might have just saved me years of my life of working for less money, and then the money compounds. Because let's say I took a 40% pay cut, that money could have been gone into my pension or something. So down the line, that money could turn into a significant amount that he just saved me with this one piece of advice, and I only paid $300. It's not. It's very cheap if you ask me, but that's money well spent. Another guy that I had a similar coaching call with, just a 1 hour coaching call. Um, we Similarly, we spoke about career stuff, but he kind of coached me into how to get a raise at work. So let's say I make X amount of money. I paid this guy $150 for an hour of his time, but he's worked in the industry for over a decade. He knows all the ins and outs, all the tricks you can do. And off of 1 hour of talking to him, I got, let's say, a $10,000 pay rise per year. How is that not the best investment that I've made all year? Like, pay $150, get a 10K pay rise. How is that not the best thing ever? So that's why I don't ever mind paying for courses, if I feel like they're valuable courses. Of course, there's a lot of garbage out there, but I was having this conversation with a friend of mine. I was trying to tell him, hey, look, I'm thinking of joining this course, uh, and I'm very kind of clever with what courses I pay for and what courses I join. If I had one talent, I would have to say it's spotting the products or the courses or the people that are worth paying money to get more back. Um, have I paid one or two courses that were kind of like nonsense? Yes, but mostly I get more than my money's worth for the courses that I pay for. So I think the highest investment that I've ever made in a course was, I paid for this, like, it's not a dating course. I never actually took a dating boot camp directly. I have been hanging out with guys who are either dating coaches, or they've been on multiple dating camps. They know what they're doing. They've given me access to the programs for free that they've got. But I never actually paid for like a weekend uh, of hanging out with some dating coach to teach me how to do it. Like, I always kind of just learned it by proxy, by being next to dating coaches. But the one course that I did pay for, and I paid less for, it wasn't the learning that I paid for. It was the access to the people who were in that group. I knew that that group had a lot of high level individuals in it. So this was a course about how to play the social circle game. Rather than doing cold approach dating, you'll learn how to play social circle games. So like put together an event, invite influencers, and now everybody at that event thinks you're some, hot shit, essentially. And it's like that course was by far the priciest that I've ever paid. And I remember talking to one of my friends about it. I was telling him like, "Hey, I'm thinking of joining this course," and he took a shit on me, bro. Like he started to shit on me so bad. Like, man, why the fuck would you pay that much money for a course? Like, who the fuck pays for that crap? Like, and I remember thinking, look, it was a lot of money to be fair, but I always see these as investments. Like, sure, you're paying that money now, but you're gonna have the results of that course hopefully forever. Like, it's gonna keep paying dividends for the next decades of your life. And this guy was just chatting so much shit about even the idea of buying a course or paying for a course. So I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. That's pretty stupid. Like, who the fuck does that? And so then I went and did it anyway. Just don't tell people. Don't tell people where I'm coming from because there's a bit of stigma. Like, oh, if you had to take a course, then you're not that guy. Because if you, there's a stigma around why did you need to learn? Why weren't you just born with it? So you almost never want to tell people that you're taking courses on things that are especially dating related because there's definitely a stigma with dating courses. But the thing is, I think if you're a coach or if you're trying to pass on some knowledge to others, I don't think you have the authority to pass on that knowledge until you've taken other people's courses. It's like if you want to be a doctor, you need to have gone to medicine school first, right? You're not just going to be a doctor. And if you want to be a doctor, like a teacher in medicine school, first you need to graduate from medicine school, right? I took so many courses that my brain is just full of this mix of information of all the courses that I took. Okay, and I'm able to, if I'm with my friends and they ask me a question, I'm able to deliver that information to them for free off of, I'm able to provide years of mentorship condensed into like a 3 minute conversation. And they don't even know where I got that information from because like I don't tell people about the course that I do. But I would say 90% of the courses that I ever took were good ROI for me. And I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't put myself in that student mentality. Like, let me learn from this guy knows something that I don't. Let me learn from him. So definitely invest in your own learning. In your own self development. Absolutely. That's never a bad idea. But be smart with it as well. Don't just pay a bunch of money to like a property investment course and then I've had guys who've tried to scam me as well like that, and it's you got to be clever with it. Yeah. Anyway, if you guys want to ask me anything at all about what I'm able to, what advice I'm able to provide based on all the many courses I've taken, I'm happy to talk about anything for like 10 minutes, absolutely for free. I just like talking to people. Uh, Nothing expected. You can just like show up. There's a Calendly link in my description. Go ahead and book that in, and I'll be so happy to talk to anybody about anything. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.